Welcome back to this Let's Play of the Last Remnant. Last time we get up to rank 5 in Union of the Golden Chalice, and so there's one guild left, and we're just going to get our way up in it. The first thing you have to do for Ring of the Ancient Castle, or I forget the other name for it, but is to make a Mermaid's Malice, and there are none in the game, and there's no easy way to do it. You just have to build one up from scratch. If you look at this shop here, you'll notice this Otachi here is listed as a trade good. That means that it's not always there. It depends on essentially how many. If you sell captured monsters, you get more access to trade goods. It's not anything super important there, but it's convenient for this demonstration. You can also buy it in one other city. I don't have to worry about it. But I have all the parts, so I just have to upgrade up through the various, and it's fairly linear, so it's not very hard to do. Costs a bit of money, uses up a bunch of random components, but, you know, whatever. Some of these components I have just crazy numbers of anyways. The only hard parts of this are the Mermaid's Barrel, which we picked up in the Aqueducts, and a Dragon Liver. You can fight dragons in Crookfen or in the Southwestern Road. In both cases, they never drop the item. You have to get it by splitting them. So it can be kind of a pain to get, but in Crookfen you can actually see if dragons have spawned by just walking into the area, and they're right there, as long as you have your clipping set distances set high enough. There are quite a few other things that can spawn in Crookfen, though. This is actually walking into the area. They'll never pop if you're there as part of Cheryl's quest, as part of the Cosmos Maiden. That way it's only by Zay. We've killed him a couple times, and he does not drop a Dragon Liver. Exactly how he clears his body of toxins, we don't know, but hey, you know. Anyway, we got a Mermaid's Malice. And there's a couple other things we can hand in. I'm avoiding handing in the Treasure Hunt for 50, because it'll spawn a rare sort of DLC type monster, and that particular one will block the spawn of other rare monsters I might want, so there's not anything else useful you get from it, so I'm just holding off on it. So that's rank 1. Rank 2 is a bit more complicated. We're moving here to Underwald, and there are actually a couple of these guys. If you don't get access to certain side areas through quests, you can also get access to them sometimes by just talking to people. And so this Curious Cassidy here, after you talk to him, you will get access to a new spot on the map, which is just another one of the Stephenburg paths, the third map. And our next target is down this path. And I'm going to save here in case the thing doesn't spawn, so I'll be right back. Even though this guy is a long ways in, he's a fairly common spawn, at least until you kill him, then he disappears and you don't see him again. But he's at least somewhat cooperative. Which is nice, because otherwise you'd have to do this long run a couple of times. This area has some dig points with some very useful drops. I won't do any of it on screen, but I'll probably just sort of creatively save my way around it. There are a couple of uniques that can spawn here. You can tell whether or not one of the uniques has spawned based on essentially which normal enemies have spawned. In this case I'm seeing, I think they're called Anthrophyllum, which are the flies. And those take the place of the uniques. There's no unique up right now. The third path has all these slopes in it, so there's a lot of sort of one-way places you have to go through.
Come on out!
Nothing.
Okay, later.
But And there's a teleporter to get you back to the world map here, so if he's not up, I guess you can still do your harvesting and be okay. I had to switch out of Mystic Seal formation, because that would have been awkward to try and fight the guy. He's not super hard, but he's one of those giant eye type enemies, so I don't expect this fight to be as much of a pushover as the Union of the Golden Chalice monsters. Here he is. And I'm actually going to pick up this treasure chest while I'm here, while he's right beside me. Some fairly nice items there.
Let's do this!
Oh, hey. Finally get to use Nominal Neuron in the fight. He's exactly the same as when you fight him. He has basically the same attacks. But, like Cyclops, he has 10,000 hit points and doesn't do a lot of damage. He's mostly just a placeholder. I actually don't really care for him as one of the 3 summons, because Caedmon's flight is takes so long to manage. I mean, he's about as hard as those other eyes I was fighting. It's just that there's just one. So I guess he has a hit points, but that doesn't make a big difference. I probably could have fought him with the Mystic Seal formation, though that would have been pretty tedious to watch. See what it affects. It actually does stop X-ray vision. I wonder if that means you can silence X-ray vision. Bizarre. You can silence Gandalf images and just a bunch of arrows. Did I mention that Nominal Neuron is a attack? Yeah. I've yet to actually see, even, you know, the off-screen fights, Blob Omen come up. Anyway, another one bites the dust.
Sweet! Yeah!
I know I'm good.
I feel like I've grown.
And, well, you know, heck, at least we got this Goblin Core. It's another one of those cores I may not bother with the collect everything, but I figure I may as well grab stuff while we're here. Anyway, you can go back out the way we came, or there's another option as far as the third path, in that you can take it and walk through the final fortress, and go to the second path, which we don't have access to yet. And then from the second path, you just have to walk your way out. The other thing you can do is that since that's a fairly short run, if you're trying to spawn one of the rares in the third path, you can just run across, back and forth across the final fortress, or actually in the second path. You can just run back and forth until you get the spawn, because that's two zones across. Anyway, I'm going to save here. Pretty much all of the monsters around here are part of a guild, one guild task or another. The Cherubis, which are these little amoeba things, I've killed a couple of them off screen. The arachnids and the were-dragons are all part of guild tasks. One thing that I'm sort of keeping an eye out for is the uniques, not in this area, but in the second path. A lot of them can split for what's called a Dwarven Core, which is required for advanced customization, which is one of the things that lets you upgrade weapons, and I believe that that's what I need to actually get what I'm looking for as far as being able to upgrade my weapon. I wouldn't call any of the enemies around here extremely hard. I've been fighting them in Mystic Seal formation and not having a whole lot of trouble. This is not the exit to the world map. This is another exit into the final fortress, I believe. Yeah, I know, this is it. Oh no, this is the world map. Sorry, I got turned around. Anyway, I'll explore this area later. There's another exit in the corner of that area, which will give you access to the ancient ruins, which were a DLC area in the Xbox 360 version, and here are just a sort of a side area. And if you're having problems spawning Bernhilders for the last quest for Golden Chalice, you can go to Ancient Ruins and there are more Bernhilders in there. So let's hand in a couple of these. Alright, well that gets us to rank 2. I'm going to save. Our next stop is going to be Darkened Forest, but I don't think we have time in this video. For rank 5 in Ring of the Labyrinth, or Ring of the Ancient Castle, the guild goes by multiple names, you have to bind 80 treasure chests, so I'm going to have to go back through a lot of the areas I've sort of breezed through previously, and I'll do all that off screen. It's more or less you just have to be thorough about finding treasure. I might point out some of the more important ones, but we'll do that next time. See you then!